How's it going? Today we'll be going over a 7-inch monitor. It's a 60 hertz 1080p. Um, I'm just simply going to be adding on a fan. Could be going over the soldering process and how I am designing this monitor that I will eventually be putting in my case, and that is the reason why I'm putting a fan on it. Just due to it being a 60 hertz 1080p, they do get warm, and I'd like to keep all the components and the actual LCD monitor itself nice and cool. I'm simply going to be using 0.8 millimeter diameter soldering wire. You can use whatever you'd like. If you can find core style soldering wire, that is preferred. It's just gonna be easier for soldering as it will heat up faster and be a lot easier to use. Here is the fan I am using. It's just a 12 volt 0.6 amp fan, so it doesn't draw a whole lot of power. I just pulled this from an old EVGA heat sink. Fairly simple. You can pick up a small fan yourself and also do the same. Just follow the same kind of pattern. Alright, so here is the end of the fan, which is going to be the black and yellow wire. Um, so before you do any kind of soldering on wires, you want to tin the wire, adding on solder to the actual wire itself, and it will help adding the wire to the whatever you're going to add the wire to. On this board, it's kind of nice with all the silk lettering on it. So here it's quite easy to find a 12 volts and the ground connection, which is what we're going to need to power up this fan. So right here is the 12 volts power, and over here is the ground, which we're going to need. So here I'm just going to put my soldering station all the way up as high as it can go to make quick work of the soldering. Again, if you pre-tin all of your stuff beforehand, on this connection here, I will be showing the tinning process onto the actual component that I'm going to be taking the 12 volt and from the ground. So just making sure you have a little bit of solder on the soldering iron. Just gonna go over to the 12 volt connection spot and add on some solder just to tin it. That way when we go back with the soldering iron with the tinned up wire, we can just simply heat those components till they liquefy the solder and then let go and let things cool. All right, it's a fairly quick process. Again, we're just going to add the hot iron to the component that we added the solder to, and we're going to put the wire to it. And then quickly, once we notice that everything has solidified, release the soldering iron, let it cool for a second, and the connection should be strong. Again, check your connections, give things a light little tug or pull, just to make sure things are connected and not going to go anywhere. And the same is going to go for the other wire. So on this fan here, the black wire was the ground and the yellow was the 12 volt. Sometimes the red can be the 12 volts. Make sure you are checking to make sure you are connecting the proper connections before you solder these on and power things up. And now we'll just give you a blurry close up. Perfect. What can I say? So again, make sure your leads, which are the wires that you're connecting to whatever component, again, this is the 12 volt in the ground, make sure they are strong. Make sure things are connected before you finalize things. Just making sure you have a better connection guarantees that you're not going to be dropping anything or any wires fall off and touch any components and fry things. I'm just going to be taping mine up with some thick clear tape. Uh, Teflon tape and or just hot gluing your connections and wires to the board will ensure a stronger connection point. So if there is any tugging, if you're going to be moving stuff around a lot while you're working on whatever you're working on, hot gluing down the wires and connection points is always recommended for any kind of electronics. Now just gotta make sure everything's all taped up nicely, make sure the wires are where I want it, so when I flip the fan over and glue it into place, things will be already flat and where I would like it. So here I'm just gluing down the fan. I just glued it onto a high piece of density foam and put that onto the back of the PCB. The back of the PCB on this here had a nice flat spot to put something on, so that's kind of nice. Also, the fan is cooling the components that I want cooled, which is another bonus. All right, we got it all flipped around, just checking everything over, seeing how it looks, see if it's gonna work for what I want. So here with this monitor, it comes with a infrared and also a remote, so you can control the volume, menu, power on and off. This is the infrared signal with also the buttons for it. The buttons I won't be using, it's all going to be remote controlled. Also on this motherboard, it has different kind of pin layouts for different kind of components. Different manufacturers just buying the same PCB and using it for their monitor. This one here, you have to plug it in a certain way so that you're getting the 3.3 volt. Looking pretty good. The infrared is in position, so that way when I use the remote, it's not going to be interfered by anything. Just checking things over again before I plug things in. Get a tester out. La remote. Clicky click click. Why won't you turn on? Yeah, I guess we need some power. La power. And the fan turns on right away. That's awesome. I noticed right off the bat it does go real fast, full bore all the time. So what I'm going to be doing on this after, if I get enough likes, I'll show how to add on either a shunt and or a potentiometer, so that way we can control the fan speed from a hardware source, so not software or anything like that. We'll have actual a dial that we can change the fan speed, and then just leave it. Dun, 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 and it works. All right, let's test to see if the remote works for it. Click. Ah, right off, no problem. All right. And back on. Click. Boom. Just like that. That's how we get her done. Everything seems to be in working order. I'm liking the way this is going so far. If you like these kind of videos, shoot me a like and comment down below. Eventually, I will be putting this into a PC for monitoring purposes, and or I will be making this into a video recording so that way I can watch what I am recording from either a camera or my phone. Just give better visuals instead of having to look at a monitor. I'll have a monitor that I can move around with me, as I can add longer cords to the smaller monitor, and it can just make things a lot easier for recording purposes. Um, I would like to make another one, maybe just for my PC. A lot of people like to do monitors in the PC just to check temps and that. Also, this is 1080p, 60 hertz. You can set it to play whatever you want as well. So, like if you want to have a favorite video or a slideshow going with your nice clean PC, it would look really nice in a nice setup. So that is thinking what I'm doing as well. We'll see in the future what we do with that. If you like these kind of videos, don't forget to subscribe. That way you can keep up to date with my videos. I have not been publishing my content as much, but I'm trying to send out better videos, better talk throughs, better walkthroughs, better overclocking videos, more details. Feel free just to comment down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And I hope you guys are learning some tips from my videos. And as always, don't forget to get her done.